Hello and welcome to Bay 1, this is Drafel Maraxi, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to build hover donuts. I don't really remember too much on how I built this, to be honest, so it's going to be a little bit of discovery involved here. But hopefully we should be able to go through most of that stuff and just, come up with a reasonably complete design. Let's just get rid of the little animated intro thingy. So make sure that you're actually seeing the visuals. There we go. Okay. So this is something I was just messing around with as a little side project. Let's just dump all of this stuff. None of it's really relevant. And we want to get rid of this bottom layer here as well. This is just a concept I'm messing around with. I can rebuild it at some other point. So yeah, probably the first part we want to concentrate on is the cockpit. There's a lot that can actually go into this in terms of customizing the design and the impact it has on the finished quality. Or finished durability, but there's not too many different ways you can do this, but it's probably one of the more, I guess, important parts of this particular concept. So yeah, we need to actually build out the cockpit correctly. First things first, I'm going to have to strip off these other additional bits here. Yeah, this probably isn't going to be an exact replica of the original design. It's more about getting the concepts there than anything else. Let's pull these off. And let's pull these off as well. So, first thing we need to take a look at is actually building the armor underneath the pilot seat here. So if you take a look here, you'll see I've just got two prisms, which these are actually connected around through the front, so they don't connect front to back. And these provide some, not blast, but direct damage mitigation. So if the block underneath here gets damaged, then it doesn't get transmitted up to here, and vice versa. So if this gets damaged, it doesn't transmit damage into that block. So it means the rear is going to be kind of your weaker section in some ways, but that's also the section most players tend not to have towards the enemy. So we want to make sure we get this armoured. The reason I'm putting prisms in here is because we want to apply those same principles for damage from the outside. So we don't want damage getting directly transmitted to this block. So that's why I've got those blocks there. These blocks here are actually going to be changed. And I will be using, just for weight, I'll be using the inners, although you can use normal cubes for this. And then this is going to form that back section, and then we've got to armor this section as well. So you can see where I've used prisms, same principles. It's just a matter of limiting the methods of damage transmission. So that's already connected up on the front, and I need to fix these blocks here. So let's probably just have the damage transmit like that. There'll be a slope. Not a slope, prism on the front, prism on the back. But this is going to be the main core that actually comes out in terms of supporting a lot of the other parts of the robot design. So let's see, I think I need to go up another tier or another level in terms of making sure that we have all these bits connected together. So let's actually build a framework around here just to make it easier to see exactly what we're doing. It also makes it easier to find out blocks that shouldn't be there that are temporary holding blocks, instead of accidentally getting them stuck in the design. So we want probably going to use inners here. Same on the back. And we can use a prism there. It's not going to be connecting directly down. Although we could actually have another prism in here, so that's actually... Oh, no we can't, okay. Yeah, let's just use a prism there. One there. That's right, because we can put a prism on that block. We can't actually put anything up here. But this will probably get changed eventually. So yeah, let's take that framework away now. I think the original version was actually 5 deep, so we're going to actually pull this back one more. Yeah, that way the center supports around there. But we're going to leave the additional armoring in the back. Doing that wrong. There we go, and then that's what we're echoing. And just using normal blocks. These can be optimized later. Wrong blocks. Why have I got those there? I thought I used... I've got inners. Okay, whatever. Alright, and I'm actually going to use normal here. Well, the reason for that is weight. We actually want weight more on the bottom. It helps to stabilize the entire craft design. That's why we got normal cubes there as well. Then from this section we need to put another one in there. Now we can put a prism on the back. That acts as the cement that holds those bits together. This still isn't connected, but we're not too worried about that just yet. Now let's pull these off. There we go. And what we need to do is build out the supports for the actual hover blades, which I think on this design the hover blades are actually up on this level. Or was it a level down? Let's see. What's required here? This is going to be the wrong kind of block. I'll just dump an inner in there because it's lighter. No, that's not an inner, that's an inner. Okay, that's going to be a point where we actually put a weapon on. Or something like that. Let's... Won't be able to put that on just yet. Let's take the seat out as a temporary measure. And get the seat back. There we go. So now that's all armoured in there. And on the top, let's put in some of these. So that's more or less a core, and this can actually be used on most designs. And this is going to be the top level, so in terms of protection from plasma there's not a huge amount really. But we'll get to that. So now we need to build out the strut support. First thing here is putting these in. and this is on what the actual hover blades gets mounted, so I'm just putting these in, or those in kind of as placeholders for now. Okay, I'm going out 4. It'll probably get changed a little bit. And do that same thing here. And what I did for these to actually make them stronger is they're not connected directly to each other in the center, but you get some of that ablative type effect by doing that. And you can either do it that way around, or you could actually reverse the armoring so it actually faces outwards, and this is actually preferred, I think, yeah. It just helps to reduce the weight on the top. And then the same principles actually go on the bottom as well, so... Oops, wrong way. Then grab some inners. Now this will probably get changed on this particular part. And the reason we're using inners is because we need something on which to mount the blades, although I can actually get away with using prisms for these. Actually put prisms in. What we ideally wouldn't want is any damage gain directly transmitted between those two. So let's switch those prisms around. And now this is where we're actually going to mount other blades. So it's the first set of blades that go on, front and back. And there's another set of blades that actually go in this area. I can't actually remember if I actually had these out one more or not. I'll have to play around and find out how I actually did that part. And it may be that I even had 2 layers of hover blades stacked. But, anyway, so anyway. Here we go. And we're going to do a similar kind of principle on the front and back here, except it's going to be 1 deeper. Which for that, we're going to have to... Oops. Has the game crashed? Nope, just a little bit of freezing. We'll have to put the bottom level on first. So, although it doesn't really matter if this is using heavier blocks in, but for now I'm just going to stick these on like that. This will all get reworked more than likely as we go through the design process. And then let's strip these ones out. Do the same thing here. Actually not from here, because we're dealing with blast damage coming from above. So we will then want to actually have a row of these, not on top, but how to do this? Actually, yeah, on top. 2 rows on that. Yeah, if I have to replace any of these parts, then it's going to be hellish. And so now we're going to connect these up. Same on this side. And then in terms of actually connecting up these rear blades, or these other blades, this doesn't seem right. What did I do differently? I think these are actually out a little bit further. That seems a little more accurate. Okay. Oh, that's alright. I think I remember what I did here now. I didn't want these actually being so vulnerable, being quite close up front, so instead I built some kind of architecture out which I mounted those blades on around here. And I think I had them nested in a little bit closer, so let's see if I can replicate that. I think this is more or less how I had them. Hold on just a second. Sorry, had to miss something from my wife. And Hockeyboy1940 said, how's the hover donut going? Making progress on it. A lot of it is trying to remember exactly how I built this thing. Okay, so that seems right. Oh, yes, now I think I remember what I did. Right, yeah, so it wasn't actually directly connected on here. This one, I think I had some kind of weird connection thingy coming out here where I had that connected on. Maybe? I don't know. You build these things, you can never remember quite how you built them. I think one of the keys though is that we want to make sure that damage doesn't get really transmitted down into there. So that will help provide a little bit of shelter on that. Of course, because of this design, it now means that these have nothing fixed underneath to actually anchor to, so things finally start making sense. This was actually a row of solid blocks. So we're going to have to rework these. Because we needed the weight underneath the ballast. And these come down. I think I could have even had some going up, some going down, but whatever. That was definitely not connected up there. These were connected down here, and this got inverted to keep the damage from the block above from being transmitted down onto that. And in fact, we had tetras. Again, this is all weight optimization type stuff. I think it's possible. Oops, I didn't mean to take that block out. I think it's possible I even had inners here. Yeah, well, we're going to have inners here on this design because I've got a little trick I can do with those to help protect the core of the hover blades there. And then we can just do those, and it just provides a little bit of protection against the root. And we'll do something similar here as well. Yes, I've built this before. Yeah, this is a design that I used back when electroplate was first announced. It was extremely effective during those early days because there's not really many bots that are designed to distribute damage across the entire outer surface. So simply by the act of spinning around, I could distribute damage evenly around the entire surface of the design, and I was kind of hoping the electroplate would be a lot cheaper in terms of CPU costs, but it turns out that wasn't the case. But yeah, this was fully designed with the intention of using electroplate in combat settings. What I'm going to do here, I'm not sure if this is going to be the strongest way of building this. But it's supposed to be these 4 edges that actually carry any damage forwards and back and transmit it around the ring instead of directly back and forward. There's some slightly different ways of building those, but it's something I created for myself. In here we've got a prism that we can assert, although again we don't want to transmit damage directly down, so we're going to actually use a tetra in those. That way damage from the block above won't get sent down here. And the same thing goes on the back here, so we need to re-engineer this section using the inners. Rocky Boy went into a tier 2 battle and on the enemy team a guy built a cube with a gun on each end, lasted 30 seconds. Yeah. You see a lot of weird junky designs like that in Robocraft. So with this one I needed... what kind of block was that? That was an inner that they used. Okay, I've got inners there, and so that a prism that's attached to the inner. Okay, so prism. If we were really more focused on damage mitigation, I would actually probably be using tetras here as well. That way damage isn't getting transferred to the center. I think, yeah, so now I need the tetras. And put those on the top. And what I did on that was I actually stripped out these apparently. Alright, so that means, yep, we need some additional tetras in there. And we'll do the same back here, so let's pull these off. Oh, we already got them in there, that's cool. Duh, because I hadn't put the bottom layer on. And now let's put on this bottom armoring layer. Okay, so this is more or less the basics of getting the hover blades in place. But what you will find is that these will need to be changed. And again, same principles, any damage that is received on top needs to not be transmitted to the block below. And so we are going to end up using inners here as well. This way we can then get some prisms or tetras, which I'm out, so let's buy a bunch more of those. Yeah, it's quite possible I won't actually have enough blocks to completely rebuild this, so we'll see. The donut from The Simpsons. Apparently, Hockey is saying he thought the design was going to be more like the donut from The Simpsons. I don't know. Don't really know what you're talking about. There we go, so we got a little bit of protection against on the top sections of all of those. So now we need to actually concentrate more on getting other sections built out. Let's clean these up. So we've got a fair amount of blank space in the design at the moment in those areas. Need to swap that back. But that could come in later in terms of what we can do for structural reinforcement. Oh yeah, I need to put those back in. This bit is really just for cosmetics. There we go. And now we're going to make an attempt to start on trying to build the outer shell of what goes here. So I've seen The Simpsons. Hockey's asking if I've seen The Simpsons. Yes, I've seen it, but I just don't remember an episode regarding donuts. Well, I know Homer ate lots of donuts, but yeah, your reference eludes me. Yeah, I'm probably actually going to need to build another arm down below here, but you can actually do some very clever stuff in terms of other armoring, which we're actually going to feature on those sections. So yeah, let's see if we can actually get to building the outer ring. Let's see if I can remember how the hell I did this now. Okay, we have the protection blocks in for that. Need to make sure we got them in on that end. Good. Now let's put on some of these. One out from here. One out from here. I think originally I built this on the principle that I would have a bunch of outriggers on which the weapons were mounted. So I know I had a out section here, one here, 1, 2, so I had 6 of them. And the front section here was just flat, the back section was just flat. So let's actually build these outriggers or turrets as we call them. So this is a solid core of blocks, and it goes down below as well, and that was 5 high, so that's correct. And then we do the same here. We can use inners on the top ones or prisms if necessary. So let's start with those, because they don't need any connections to the outside. There we go. And then on the outside of that, we essentially build a shell. And we can have a solid block here or not. I'm gonna just put these prisms here. And then what you do is you literally just place these blocks down. And the same thing goes on the other side. What we're going to do there though is replace that one with an inner, because it saves a little bit of weight. The bottom ones are not so important. So same here. This design can actually pretty much use any type of weapon. It's design. I try to make all of my designs capable of using everything we throw at them, because it depends on how you're grouping up and how your team's doing as to what is really needed to help out. So essentially this entire outer shell here is like an ablative shell. And then we're going to actually put in some blocks to connect that in once we do the same with the top section here. So again, we're going to build an external shell on what to mount all of this stuff. So yeah, the top, let's go like this. And then the ones inside are inverted as such. Yeah, we've already got those. Although these ones are actually done wrong because they're supposed to be the same kind of concept, so you need to remember those need to go the other way. I knew that I was doing something really simply wrong. And of course I got those all messed up. Duh. Yeah. Of course it'd be right if I actually connect them on correctly. There we go. So the guns actually go on the tops of each of these sections and the bottoms. Fully equipped, this can mount 14 weapons. Although obviously mounting 14 plasma on a design really isn't going to be all that effective. You only really want 6, but for redundancy it's an option. There we go. So at the moment we're only connected up on the top, and this is why we do need this additional row underneath here to actually connect things, but there's a different way we can actually connect that as well. And this is where we start providing some of the armouring that goes across underneath and providing more of the donut shape. But we need to get this section here completed first. And this is, I think I know I have, well, yeah, I did have an extra kind of shell thingy here, but how did I build this? It was definitely 5 across, and I believe I alternated these, so I had one down, one up, like this. That way you're still connecting them across, and if I put an extra layer on the outside, it's the same principle, although here we'd want to use these as anchor points. And then like that. And again, anchor points, which means it goes like here. Then that means it might this might actually be out a little far. I think I can probably pull in the front hover blades a little bit and make it a little shorter, because that just seems, these seem like they're way too far out. Especially if I'm going to have turrets in this kind of section. So let's see about, yeah, I'm going to take care of that now because that just doesn't seem quite right to me. No, actually, hold on. something I'm messing up here. What do you mean, why no armor blocks? You mean, why no electroplate? Okay, yeah, I might have this a little bit the wrong shape here. On this design was created before electroplates were actually released. It was designed in theory to use them, but electroplates ended up being too expensive in terms of CPU cost to actually go onto the completed bot, so I ended up not actually running with them. And then immediately after the release of electroplates, the plasma, the railguns were a little bit strong, and it pretty much rendered this bot design useless. But railguns are being reined in a little bit more now, so and with medics, there's more reason to have a design that's focused more on transmitting damage around the face so that it can just be repaired. Yeah, this design uses a lot of common principles or common themes in terms of how it deals with the damage mitigation. What I'm trying to do here is actually work on building the outer layer, which why I'm having those on there is completely dumb. I need those on the actual outer layer. Let me get white blocks here and put them on the outside. There we go. So I think that's as far out as it actually went. And here we go on this side, and I will try and break this up into 15-minute videos for the final audience. Although they're not really going to be any specific segments. Here we go. But this is the reality of building awesome robots in Robocraft. Everything takes time. Then, yeah, this feels about right. Then, yeah, I started bringing these in, and we ended up with a layer like this. Seems close enough, so let's continue with this section. There we go. I believe if I was to actually have the other gun mounted on here. Okay, let's put these parts in first. Where are we? What did we have on here originally? We had SMGs, so it was top-mounted SMGs. There we go, that's the exact spacing we need. And so the front turrets would need to be somewhere around here. Or at least the center point for it would need to be here. We can't have them one further over because if I was to try and mount them there, now I've run out of the right box. Let's put some whites on there just to get the spacing correct. You'll see if I could have them offset a little bit, but I wouldn't be able to move that closer and still have the guns actually mounted, even if I do any kind of rotation stuff. That's why the guns are actually offset like this. Yeah, you can't put railguns on this, obviously. But now we know the actual spacing for the turrets, and we can build accordingly. Which actually means I think we might be able to bring this in a layer. Yeah, these blades were definitely not out quite as far as they are on this design. Yeah, so let's get some prisms on the back to act as something that I can actually just build against. There we go. Yeah, the bottom's going to be the same. It's just going to be echoed top to bottom. But I don't have enough of these, although I do have inners, so inners will work for now. And the back is going to be pretty much the same. Let's get the spacing correct for the back as well. I think, okay, yep, that can mount there. Here we go. Oh man, I didn't mean to take that inner off below. There we go. That's better. So yeah, we need to put another inner below this. And these are not going to be connected directly to these blocks here. The idea is that these take damage before this section does. So I'm going to have to do some clever stuff to actually make sure they're connected up throughout the rest of the bot design. Bottom ones can stay as actual inners because they're a little bit heavier. There we go. Right. Oh, one more here. And I'm out of inners now. Let's buy some more. Probably not going to be anywhere near enough. There we go. take a look at this, you'll actually see the entire idea is that I can have that many guns on the bottom as well. And it's using the most optimal spacing for that weapon type. It's pretty much a behemoth when it's fully armoured like that. But yeah, gotta take those ones off because I don't actually need these guns on here now. Mostly it was just there so that I could actually get the placement and the spacing correct. And now it's a matter of just actually connecting these up and finishing the actual turret build. So let's build the shell. And the outer shell is the actual most important part for these. This is one of the more technically complex builds you can do for a Robocraft bot. It's not fully using fully spaced armor if you want to look up exactly what that is, but it's using a lot of elements from those design principles. So that section will be connected outside, but those won't. Then we can pull those away. Already done that. I haven't done these ones, so let's get those in place. Yeah, I did put those in, cool. Okay, so now I can actually put in that armor block. And same here. And now I'm out of prisms. Yay. As I said, I may not actually have enough blocks to complete this build, but mostly it's what were the design elements that went into making it. So we're at this point here. So that's more or less the guts. And I need to still have this connected up. And I honestly not quite sure how I did that. I think actually I did ooh, good question. Right, that was one in, this was one in. Oh, I think I remember now. This was one in, this was one in. And I was using the tetras, I think. Although you can do some weird things with tetras that you didn't used to be able to actually connect stuff up. did I already do that? Yep. You can see it's a matter of just building up constant layers of additional protection, and I'll do the same kind of build underneath as well. But we still need to get these connected up. So do I have, how many prisms do I actually have? I need more. Oh, I've got 29, that might be enough. This is where I think I actually did some other weird stuff, because I wanted some top protection in here. Did I do this? If I can't remember, I'll just have to create something new. Okay, what I'm going to do, how many tetras? Let's buy a bunch more of those. And I can't put a block there because it won't let me. But what I'm going to do here is actually have that connected in here. Is it a bright idea? Probably not, but it's just how I'm rolling. So that way their actual guns are going to be supported top and bottom, or the actual central turret top and bottom through here, and this outer shell is not going to transmit damage back. Seems a little bit fragile, probably is. What did I put on there? Go. There we go. And do the same thing here as well. Now this is something I definitely didn't do in the original design, but it might be an improvement. And then the same thing underneath here as well. So whatever I just did above, repeat below. And I'm just going to put these in for some extra resilience. Although on these ones I haven't even begun to build out the rear turret armouring. Yeah. More prisms are needed. There we go. So where were we with these? Okay, so we're in the right place. Did I still have enough? I'm going to need more prisms, so let's buy another 10 of those. Definitely getting close to broke. And with that I needed to be able to connect back against this. How much do what costs these blocks? Najim, this will be going on YouTube once I'm actually done with it, so I'll be able to export it directly to YouTube when I'm complete. Yeah, these prisms cost a lot, so you're talking about for the tier 10 armors 11,000 per block, or almost 12,000, or for the inners you're looking at 14,200 odd. So, but you also earn a hell of a lot more. Up in higher tiers you can earn over 100 to 200,000 a game if you play well. So it sounds a lot to a newer player, but in reality it's not all that much. Yeah, so where was I? And yeah, this isn't the original hover donut, as I've already said, but hopefully I'm actually making some improvements on the original design concept. Because more or less I had the basic thing and I just kept adding additional segments of armor and stuff like that to it until I ran out of CPU. So. Okay. There we go, so again this connects out from the core to the actual pylons on which the weapons are mounted. I shouldn't call them turrets, they're pylons. And yeah, I could bring these hover blades in a tier if I really wanted to. Not a tier, in a layer. But yeah, we're going to see if we can finish a build out like this, because I think having them wider out will increase the stability a bit as well. Although we're now 739 CPU, where are we at if I actually put the maximum weapon complement on there? And this of course is without any of the radar or any of that stuff. Okay, so we're at 1103. It still gives us about 400 CPU to play with in terms of finishing the armoring. Okay, so yeah, let's see if we can finish off the top turret layers up here first. So that goes like so. So that's that one up here. Let's add on section that goes below. Although there's no point in actually having that as a prism if we can use Tetras to the same effect. So this is where we start getting into some of the weight optimization side as well. Because at the end of the day, top needs to be as light as possible to keep the entire bot balanced. So yeah, these are all going to get replaced with prisms. Now, on the previous design, Tetris, sorry, on the original design, you couldn't actually connect the blocks that way, they would just fall off. So what they did to change this actually makes this kind of positioning viable. You can do a lot more that you couldn't do. Yeah, if I can complete within the time of the video, or I may do a separate actual stream for the battle version of this. I was just asked in chat by Hockey Boy if we would actually see this in battle, so yeah, once it's complete you will. There we go, and so doing the same thing on these. And okay. There we go. And it was this one. Oh god, got stuck in the hover blade. That's annoying. Come on, out, 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 out. There we go. was on the front, it was, oh I see, it was where I was putting in that block, so that's the equivalent here. Come on. Let me out. And on those we had... That's right, those weren't actually... Or was they in place? Alright, yeah, because we brought that across a little bit more narrowly. Okay, let's see if we can get this connected up. So we're actually going to use the inners here. Again, aesthetics, that's the only reason. So we can have that connected to the top level. On this section, like so. So now the front's fully connected up. Two T9 electrode places so you can see their sizes. Sure I can. Actually, let's see if we can get them so you can see them in size compared with the number of blocks on here. And let's go with the other one. There you go. T9 electrode plates. So in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks long by 1 to 5 blocks wide. It is possible to build a mini Death Star. Whether it'd actually be a Death Star is another question. But you could build something that looked like a mini Death Star with no problems. Is wrong. What did I do here? Oh, I see. I had them literally connected directly onto the outside, not a extra thingy here. So this is literally a complete shell. Which stops at that point and is brought across here with the apparently I've just used a that as a central core. Okay. Yeah, sorry, my voice is a little bit low while I'm doing this. I'm kind of concentrating on trying to remember how the hell I built this and what I've done even 5 minutes ago, so sorry for that aspect. Is that even right? Must be. No, that's not right. Okay. This is actually supposed to all be prisms. Like so. And then what I did do is on the original version I had another layer across the front here just as an extra shield. So let's do the same here. Of course I can't put those in because there's nothing to anchor them to at the moment. There we go. And so we're going to pretty much replicate these on the bottom. Although probably using the prisms where possible, because this is where we do want weight on the bottom. So yeah, what I did on the bottom here was when I brought these in here, that block seems wrong. That block certainly wasn't there. And that's the only point where you'd have a prism tetra actually connecting them in. And I'm almost broke again, so let's grab some more of these tetras. Yeah, no, I don't have the outer armoring on that. That's something that will have to be fixed later on. Do I have enough for 2 more? Come on. Or maybe 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm essentially building huge ass rings which act as the armor. Right. So what blocks did I have in there? I had... How many blocks do I even have left? I have 7. It's not going to be enough to complete this. I can get away with using some of these for now, until I can earn some RP with this thing. But yeah, I definitely can't take this out without the protective armor on this section. Not so much concerned about it protecting the internal sections of this, but definitely the externals need their armor on. And of course I missed a couple of blocks here. And I'm out of blocks, so here we go. So that was actually connected up through these, which in this case isn't the case. Okay, so I need one there, one here. The fuck? One here and one here. Then when I put that across, it'll provide an anchor point. I don't like having just that one point of contact though. Yeah, I know. Okay, that's the basics of those turret sections there, and yeah, I did a load more work underneath here in terms of weighting the entire design down. As it currently is, this is going to be top heavy until I can complete the bottom build out. Let's mount on the SMGs now and take it for a test run. I'm not even going to attempt to do practice mode on this, I'm just going to play. It will probably get its ass whipped as well, because it's not complete. I probably do need to put some radar on here before I actually go anywhere. So let's put an enemy radar on... Don't like them mounted there. I had some mounted underneath here originally. Oh, that's right. Can mount one that side. And don't want a receiver. I can put a jammer on here though as well. Where can a jammer actually mount on this design? Mostly because I haven't left any free anchor points. Yeah, I know, I just had one central on the back. That'll do for now. Yeah, so that's part of the build. Given that I've run out of RP, I need to learn some more before I can complete it. So let's go and battle. How many people are actually watching this at the moment? Only 4. Well. I know the broadcast has been going on for a while. I think it's taken about an hour so far. But yeah, this is certainly nowhere near complete because it's not got any of the additional bottom levels of armor or anything like that on it. So it's going to be kind of top heavy. But hopefully we can actually get into a game and test it out and see how it works. In theory you could build something similar at a much lower level. I haven't even tried it with... Well, actually when I first started building it, it had blue blocks on it. So you might be able to build a tier 6 version with a lower CPU cap. I'm not sure how effective it will actually be. Come on, I just want to go into a game. One of the main reasons I'm actually rebuilding this is because I want to see how effective it is in boss battles with the SMG variant. Okay, I'm over 1.5 minutes now, but no servers free, so that explains that. Any time today would be very nice. Well, what else can we speak about? Anyone got any questions in chat? Because this is the really fun part of the stream where I'm going to... I wish I could just cut out this as a complete quiet area, but yeah, it's not going to happen. 150 people in queue at tier 10. 19 servers free now. Expect to see that drop quickly. Or not. Or maybe my queue portion is balked. Yeah, I'm just not getting anywhere with this. I will probably have to try relog in and make sure it's not just a bug on my end with a connection to the server. Give it another 3, 4, 5 seconds. Yeah, that's just dumb. Okay, so practice mode it is. Now, I haven't even attempted to put any thrusters on, which there's easily space for them on this design. Okay, well, in principle it's working. It's not. Tilting over. Connecting to the server. Let's try queuing up yet again. We're not into queue within 30 seconds, then I will be restarting. You see still 170 people in queue at tier 10, so I think it's a server blip. Well, average wait time 41 seconds, so we'll wait 41 or 50 even. Hello Jaco, welcome to the stream. Oh, there's an easy way to make this faster. Let me change the orientation of some of these here. So let me grab that. So if I now grab a couple of thrusters, T7s would probably work on this if I can actually fit them in without any size issues. Although those are actually causing some. Let's try T6s, there we go, T6s fit on just fine. Although it looks like I actually messed that up. There we go. And what I could do is I could put more there, I can put some more up front. Where else do I want them? Where's the actual front on this? Okay, because these are facing completely the wrong way. They'll help me go backwards, they won't help me go forwards. Yeah, they won't go there. go. So that's a little bit faster now. And yeah, I will have to bring the video to a close for now because the queue system's obviously a little bit broken. I can't get into proper T10 matches at the moment to show you how the design works in practice. So yeah, thank you for watching. This was most of how to build a hover donut. There's still a fair amount that needs to be done in terms of bottom armoring. Essentially we take the same principles of what we did with armoring, come on, load up, with creating these sections of armor here, and we just add a few more strands running in underneath and keep that down until it's almost a level platform underneath here. So it's lots of ablative rings underneath to help try and reinforce the design. But once that's in place, it's a pretty effective and powerful bot, at least for SMGs. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.